Hi there, this is Judith and Desjardins in Santa Monica, and today I am inviting you into my therapy room, which also serves as my jewelry making room and my sewing room. I am replenishing my spirit after the chemotherapy last week by making some birthday earrings for my daughter. I asked her what color she wanted, and she said pink. So I had made her some different combinations, and this is the combination she chose. I asked her if she wanted it on silver or gold, and she says that she prefers the gold, so I'll switch this out. And I'm waiting to hear from her if she wants these French backs or these other choice. So here's a view of some of the Swarovski crystals that I work with. I love to have them in all different colors, and it's very fun and creative for me to make jewelry. So I want to do a little talk now with you about my reactions to last week on my journey with chemotherapy. I have gotten the impression now that chemotherapy is kind of like prize fighting, where there's a ring which represents every different week that I go for an infusion. You know who the opponent is going to be ahead of time, which is the chemotherapy. But you don't really know what's going to go on in the ring when you go for that particular week. My last video showed me getting my second infusion and mentioning the fact that I had a problem with the vein on my left arm. That was last Thursday, and what happened on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday was that this whole elbow swelled up to about at least twice its normal size and was very painful all the way up my arm. It was very red, and it was a very scary situation for me because, once again, I've never had chemotherapy, and my body is not used to having any drugs put into it, and I have a limited experience with getting IV lines stuck in my arm. Of course, I had them many, many times throughout the day in the 5 days I was in the hospital. But what happened is that I developed what they call a thrombophlebitis, which means that when the IV was inserted into this rather small vein, it bruised the vein and caused it to have a delayed reaction. Actually, it was about 4 days after I had my first infusion, or second attempt for the infusion. All they did was draw blood that day. But my reaction on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday sort of fell on the weekend when there was no medical staff to assist me, and I didn't know what was going on with my arm. It was very frightening, and I was very afraid of having a blood clot, and the thought of possibly dying from a blood clot when I was just going for chemotherapy was very frightening. So I called the on-call doctor, and he said if it's not traveling up your arm toward your heart, it's probably not an infection, and watch it over the next few days. Use moist compress, which I did all day long. I was pretty much off my feet the whole weekend. And on Monday, when my doctors were back, they ordered an ultrasound that covered the veins from by my chin all the way down my upper arm, my underarm, down through the whole vein system to see if there was a clot. And happily, there was no clot. And I am going to be ready for my third infusion next Wednesday. But what I wanted to address with the analogy with the prize fighting is that going for chemotherapy is like having, in a way, a new opponent each week. It's not just the chemotherapy, but it's actually the insertion of the IV line into veins that may not like being invaded by the IV and may have this thrombophlebitis reaction. So what I'm learning is that every week I need to have my game plan. I go for my next infusion on Monday. I will go optimistic. This is something that I want to do. I want to have chemotherapy to kill any possible microscopic particles of cancer that survive the surgery. And I have to look at it as a long training period. When I'm not going for chemotherapy and I have my week off, my duty first is to take care of any physical symptoms that I incur because of the last infusion. So that is really pretty basic survival functioning. You have to take care of your body, you have to see what your body needs, and then after a couple of days, I am ready to go back to organic juicing of fruits and vegetables because those nutrients go directly in the bloodstream through ingesting them. No harm to my body. Then I have to get back on the routine of exercise, my run walks that usually go for an hour and a half. I was delighted to do that yesterday. It felt marvelous. But today, because of my daughter's birthday, I am doing something that is more like a creative, spiritual practice that is good for my spirit. I love to be around all these gorgeous colors. I love to think of different patterns for earrings, bracelets, necklaces. It's something that feeds my spirit and reminds me again of who I was and who I am despite having had the cancer. It was also good today to get in a hot bath and wash my hair and clip my nails and put on a nice sweater and jewelry for a change to remind myself that I am a feminine being. I am not just a cancer patient. I am a person who has many different sides and needs many different types of stimulation to be at my best, most highest evolved person. So today my spirit level is being accessed through the creativity of jewelry making. Spending time with my boy Hopi is wonderful. I had a lovely dream about nuzzling with my broody boy the other morning that was so real. We were snuggling up to each other's ears and smelling each other and rolling around on the bed together, and that was wonderful. So as a prize fighter, you have to do a lot of different training for body, mind, emotion, and spirit. When you get knocked down in the ring from a thrombophlebitis or inability to receive chemo that day because your immune system is depressed, I have learned that you must stand up again, dust off the dirt, and get back into the game, get back into the fight, because we are doing this for life. We are doing this so that we can continue to be with our loved ones and do our professions, which also stimulate our mind and our spiritual act of giving and serving other people. So I'm happy to be at home. I'm happy to be free of any obstacles right now. And I just wanted to share that with you and encourage everyone who's receiving chemotherapy or radiation or going through surgery for cancer or any other illness. Remember that your body is strong and resilient and divinely programmed to repair itself, to regenerate, so that you can have an abundant life, body, mind, emotion, and spirit. So it's much pleasure that I greet you today and wish you a happy day and blessings and encouragement and love. Thank you.